What's going on, guys? This is Eagz. Now, we're going to be talking about what Challenger jungling is right here. And for anyone who has not hit Challenger or whatever, like, this is going to be the big difference. And if you are even, like, in lower elos, this should help you immensely. So, what we're going to be talking about today is counterplay. And as a jungler, you have to understand that when you make a play, there is going to be a reaction from the enemy jungler. And making a play is literally doing anything where you show on the minimap. When you show on the minimap, you reveal to the enemy jungler what your camp state is, or camp states are. You tell them, look, man, like, I've gone from 28 CS to 42 CS. I've done 3 more camps after a full clear. Therefore, you know, like, my whole bot side or top side is up. So when you make a play, like, you're revealing what your history was, and probably what your future is going to be as well. Therefore, the enemy jungler is going to calculate that, or should do anyway, and make a play based off of that. They're going to react to that. Knowing what that reaction is going to be is absolutely crucial in being a great jungler. Okay, so I've got 2 examples that I'm going to show you today, and hopefully this makes sense. If you want more kind of like commentaries like these, please let me know by liking the video. It helps us out a lot. And any questions about the moves, please let me know. But hopefully there won't be many questions, because you are seeing this like validated by T1's owner, and any challenger jungler, like, you're going to see this. So the video like I'm watching here is Arfreezy, and I remember watching this video. I think it was on my recommended, or someone asked me a question about it, and they were asking, like, you know, is recalling here good? The decision here, like, what is the go here? Like, what's the best play for him? So basically, there's lots to unpack here. And Arfreezy is a very good Graves player. He's a YouTube channel. You guys should check him out. This isn't like a collab or anything. I'm just doing this. Hopefully, he'll give me permission as well to upload this. Anyway, Arfreezy here gets like 2 kills bot right and an assist. So Viego dies, the enemy jungler. They kill pretty much everyone here, and then Aphelios dies as well. So they kill both bot laners and the enemy jungler here. So in this situation, right, I'm probably here for a bit of context too. Arfreezy went 1, 2, 3, and then did something like this, right, because the enemy bot was really low. Everything here was perfect. This is where it goes wrong. And this is why, I don't want to say, like, you know, GM to challenger or whatever, like, that's going to be the difference, but it literally is. Like, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. What do you guys think the best move here to do? There's actually, like, 3 moves, or a couple of moves that are really interesting and really good, but one of them is just like 100% like guaranteed. The other one is a little, like, maybe 1 or 2% might be more interesting in terms of, like, you know, a little bit more flippy, but it's actually still really good. The first point, I'm just gonna like play this for you, and again, Arfreezy, please don't get mad at me for playing your content. I'll shout you out, bro. You're in the description. Anyway, in this situation here, right, and I thought when he ran here, he was either going to do one of 2 things that are possible. So the first, like, opportunity he has here. So remember that Viego is dead, right? So if I just, like, play this again, look above the minimap for me. Like, Viego's dead for 8 seconds, right? So if he was to recall, or 7 seconds here, if he was to recall right now, I know he's not going to, but let's just say he was to recall right here and get it off, he's running out of base, like, at the same time as Viego. That's what tempo is. So you have to understand that when you make a play like this, and you're overstaying the enemy jungler's tempo in a way, like, he's going to be in the middle of the map, or at the middle of the map, like, you know, in the equator of the rift, I guess, sooner than you. You have to try to understand, like, if this Viego can extend into my jungle and take something. Or even just extend into something like Rift Herald, right, at 8 minutes. Like, if it was 7, let's just say 50 here, the Graves should definitely do what? Recall is good. Here, recalling is fine, right, in terms of, like, the counterplay Viego has. So what is the counterplay Viego has here? Top Scuttle Crab, okay, but whatever. Like, we lose that anyway, so who cares about that? But what's, like, the next thing? Well, the next thing, based on the time, right, is the Graves, Krugs, and Raptors, which will spawn at, like, 415, 420, right? So that's the potential loss here if we decide to overstay our stay, I guess, in the bot side of the map, right? So what the Graves should do, really, is either do Crab and then what? Recall is good. Hopefully that makes sense. By the way, if it doesn't, again, leave a comment. So basically, like, what I'm saying here is that when you make a move, a play, and you show us something, a green light, beautiful, so that's you making a play, you have to think about the red lights, the red lines. What is a potential loss here? What is a threat the enemy jungler has? Now, of course, like, him ganking top lane, right? Viego ganking top might be bad. So we would just indirectly cover that counterplay by pinging. But what you want to be doing in terms of your jungle camps or Rift Heralds, like the big resources, you want to be directly countering that counterplay by being there, right? Because you're the stronger jungler. Here, the Graves has a refresh red buff. He has a Noon Quiver running out of base. In another game, this might be like, I don't know, even like 3, 4 longswords or 3 longswords boots. Whatever it is, right? Like, you're so much stronger. And because Graves, like, just crushes Viego, Like, you're hard chilling, right? If you ever fight this guy, and you should want to here. So basically, you want to treat it like a lane in a way. So let's just say, like, you kill the enemy mid laner, let's say, right? At level 1. Let's just say something weird happens at level 1, yeah? So something happens at level 1 and you kill them. Like, if you get a kill at level 1, it's like you killed them with the same gold spent. So both of you at level 1 have spent 500 gold and you killed them at level 1. It's like, surely, when you get back to lane, if you want to anyway, with a 400 gold difference, you would probably have a much better chance of killing them again. That's essentially what snowballing is, right? You are recalling and trying to kill someone again and again and again. Now, in lanes, it happens all the time. Why? Because you're playing minion waves. Everyone's going to run back to the same position. What you're trying to do is almost create a minion wave on the minimap in terms of jungle camps. What could be that minion wave here? Well, it could be this, and it could be this, right? That are spawning very soon, and they are important camps. In another game, it might be Rift Herald. In another game, it might be Viego's red buff. It might be his bot side, right? Because we know he's pathing like this to this. Hopefully that makes sense there. You'll see a Gurren do this as well, right? Like, he might recall after full clearing or whatever, buy 2 longswords and run here. He's creating a minion wave situation like in a lane, right? He's creating a 1v1. With the enemy jungler who might just like overstay their clear and protect their 4-minute raptors. That might be a little bit too in-depth and detailed. Again, don't worry too much about that, but hopefully you get the gist of it here. So the Graves should be thinking about the counterplay Viego has here. But unfortunately, the Graves is just thinking about his green lines. That's it. He's not thinking about what Viego's lines are, which is super important, okay? And another reason why this is really nice to recall in this position, guys, or even just around this corner, is because he will be in fog to the enemy laners if they are there. But also, I mean, I guess if that's warded, it's unfortunate or whatever. But running off like this is such a smart move rather than just like running into the brush and basing from the lane itself, because everyone knows you're basing, right? Whereas running off like this gives the enemy jungler and team, remember, it ripples across everyone, not just enemy jungler, but laners as well. It gives them a false sense of security. Oh, the Graves is running to Scuttlecrab, he's running to his bot side. Sweet. Therefore, Viego has even more incentive to do this because you're baiting him to do that. Come on, bro. Hit my top side. Hit my top camps. I'm going to be there and kill you. Also, if you're wondering about fog, draw a line from like where you are. So let's just say, you know, the Graze is obviously here. Draw a dot. And let's just say a champion was here, right? And you're scared about getting seen. On this line here, between the 2 dots, if there is terrain, you won't get seen. If you draw a dot, like a line from here to here, you won't be seen. The other play Graves has, if he is the base right here, which I only think is good for doing this exact thing. So if Graves is going to protect his top side, it should be base after crab. I would do crab here because you will still get here in time, right? So you can do the crab, even though the gold means nothing. We're still not recalling for anything in particular, right? Like, we're not recalling to protect Krugs yet. We can still, like, do maybe something for 10 seconds and get there. And if Viego's doing it, it's even better because we'll get there and almost let him start them in a way. Okay, so like the timer for, I guess, recalling for Krugs would be like 3:45, yeah? So 9 seconds too early, like what are we going to do? And doing crab as well, like I'm pretty sure after Krugs he'd hit level 4, but doing crab as well here just allows you to kind of like catch the Viego on Krugs if he does do them, right? But if he was to recall right now, the only play he should be thinking about making, and no one really does this, but it's actually really OP. In fact, I have a video coaching Chaos, rank 1 EUS, so again, hopefully you know this is legit. Rank 1 EUS for multiple seasons, doing exactly what I'm saying here. You can recall in this situation because you're so much stronger with Noon Quiver plus like what, 500-600 gold over the enemy champion, just like a lane, remember? And you are trying to create a minion wave situation, in other words, a camp where you can fight them on, or just, you know, a couple of camps maybe. So what am I getting at? Think about where Viego is going to go. Now remember, Graves killed him like around here, right? So the Viego has probably gone like top to bot. So, base, and go like this. So just remember here, guys, if we run like middle of the map, right? If that takes like 30 seconds, yeah? If that takes like 30 seconds to run middle of the map, you're extending this by what, like another 10 seconds maybe? So 40 seconds, yeah? Let's add 40 seconds to this. It would be 4:15. Then we've got a recall though, right? So 8 seconds, so 4:23. So yes, Viego can actually do Gromp before the Graves gets there if he starts it right away. So what Viego is probably going to do here though is actually do Crab, right? Maybe something like this. And then he's going to do Crab, back to Gromp and Walls. The Graves can do something like this where he runs out. Oh my god, the Crab is gone. And he loops back around and kills him on Gromp. Or just pushes him off of it and it's GG, right? Like, how is the Viego going to breathe here? I even said this in the Griffin review I did when Griffin was like Hardstuck Master Korea. And I legit had people in the comments there telling me like he's Challenger now. Bro, like a big, like, I'm not going to say it's you know, it's all down to like that video because he did end up watching it, but that legit is what he was missing. So I don't know if it was just a coincidence that, you know, after watching that and maybe understanding what tempo actually is, that he obviously like shot up in career and instead of being Hardstuck Master, now he's like Challenger and he's obviously insane. So full credit to him. But that is what I am saying. And rank 1 EUS does this. Every challenger jungler is going to think of doing this, but the most consistent one here, I guess, because, yeah, maybe, like, you know, laners you'd consider, but here, man, like, you have such a big lead over the enemy jungler that when you come in here, you're ambushing them, right? So the enemy laners, like, can't really react to this unless they were thinking about it beforehand, or if, like, you're running over wards and stuff. So obviously here, like, running out of base when you're doing something like this, get a sweeper if you can afford a control ward, it's good as well. You want to know if they know you're coming. So that's really important to talk about as well, and I'm losing my voice because I'm speaking too much. Again, guys, please let me know if you like these type of videos. But yeah, that's one play he has, like just running to Viego's topside, right? The other play, like I said, is just a recall, which is way more consistent, and just going to like Krugs, yeah? At the perfect timing. So getting there at 415, 420. So recalling now is still fine, but I would honestly just do Crab, even though the gold doesn't matter. Do Crab based, and then you can go to Krugs, right? And if Viego's doing them, you either kill him again, top laner comes down, or you just push him off. And if Viego is doing this, you can go 1, 2, into 3, into 4, and push him off his Raptors. Like, what is this guy doing on my top side camps? There's no way he's allowed to do this. I'm just going to either kill him or chase him off or damage him a lot. And when he runs off, right, maybe his laners know, like, everyone knows, like, now you're obviously here, so it's hard to do something like this, right? And Viego as well might get his Gromp before you do that, and walls, like, he can just run off. So after you see the enemy jungler here and push them off, Krugs Raptors, and then think about doing this. So that's like the big kind of mistake here that Arfreezy makes on Graves, like just recalling like this. And why recall here? He actually just like gets it wrong, like recalling for a Noon Quiver, and out of base, he actually just runs straight bot. Also here, if you're going to do this, which is bad anyway, right? Like, I just believe there's optimal, and then everything else is bad. Maybe there's two, like, situations here where recalling and running to Viego's Gromp is optimal. I actually think it's amazing if he does that. But still, recalling a Krugs is, like, really close to being optimal as well. But this is actually just bad. But if you're going to make this work, right, because the bot lane was shoved in, this wave is going to push back, right, to red team. So if you're going to go bot, man, it's almost like you have to go there on like the parallel to your laners. So that sounds really weird, but I'm going to explain it to you here. So when Arfreezy does walls, doing walls is absolutely fine, by the way, like nothing wrong with this. But after he does walls, what do you think he should do here? So I'm going to let this play actually, and we're going to watch this. So he ends up doing walls, right? I'm skipping it 5 seconds here, and he's doing Gromp. I'm skipping it another 5 seconds, and he's doing blue. Another 5 seconds. Basically here, in another game, the enemy bot lane is going to like shove this wave out, okay? Because I think like maybe his bot lane overstayed and something and they shoved the wrong wave. Like something has definitely happened there. But anyway, like the enemy bot lane here can shove that wave out, right? Look where the next wave is. So Felios and Nami can easily shove. Nami bubbles the wave, auto attacks and stuff like that. They can shove this wave out and it won't be here, right? So bot lane, like going bot here wouldn't even work in the first place. And that next wave after Nami and Aphelios shove will actually push back to them and they're chilling, right? So what I'm saying here, guys, is like, if he can gank now, it has to be like almost on the next wave, yeah? Because that will be frozen outside Nico and Siv's tower, because Nami is not shoving and neither is Aphelios, right? So they are just last hitting minions here. That's all they're doing, yeah? Like, look at them. They're just like stacking the wave in a way. That wave has to be shoved. Cannon doesn't matter, right? There's 2 champions there. They should easily be able to shove. So what the Graves should do after walls, level 3 or not, who cares? You have Noon Quiver with a red buff and Flash as well. They probably don't. What he has to do here is this. To justify going bot. Hopefully you can see this as well. What you're trying to do is gank on the next wave. 412, right, as a time in the top right, is not a great time to go gank a lane because the wave is probably really thinned out. Yeah, waves come every 30 seconds, right? So like 130, 2 minutes, yeah, 2:30 and stuff like this. So if it says 30 at the end of a time or 0-0, that is when a fresh wave is in the lane, yeah? Or about to be in lane. Mid lane, it will be in lane. Bottom top, it will just be approaching the lane, yeah? So therefore, it's even good, by the way, if you want to be in a lane at the perfect time to like go 5 seconds earlier. So change that to 25. That's when you can move to the lane. Or 55. That's when you can go because the wave will be about to approach. So what you want to be doing is almost like timing that movement with a minion wave. Okay, so the next minion wave is actually now pretty much on top of the Sivir and Nico, right? Look at top lane for me. So it's near the tier 2. So with this in mind, like Graves doing Gromp here, how much time do you think this takes? Maybe like 15 seconds, right, or something, to do Gromp. So that's like 418, 419. So all right, 10 seconds because he's super fed. But you see here how now it's 431. And you might be like, but this is a great time to gank, but not from where he is. He's a blue buff. He's got to run to bot lane. So now the opportunity to gank that lane is actually kind of over. And he has to now wait for the next wave. Okay, so this next wave is where it'd be ganking bot, but this wave can be pushing to Aphelios Nami. They can be full HP as well, and it just happens that I don't want to say anything like derogatory to like Master GM players, whatever this is, but in higher reloads, like this is just not going to happen, and the wave won't be like this. So this play is almost validated by the enemy bot lane is actually just like being or playing suboptimally as well. So he ends up picking up 2 kills at the end of this, and I'm not saying anything bad about like Arfreezy in terms of grades. Obviously he can play grades really well, but in terms of actually like jungling, there is something missing here. He can still make this play, by the way, because he did 1, 2, 3 into this. Why can't he just recall and go 1, 2 and then straight back? Is that not the clear he did at the start of the game as well? Also this, I'm just going to keep going here, guys, because I'm just feeling the power. Red Krugs Raptors, right? Why do you go Red Krugs Raptors? It's because you want to path to a certain lane, right? You go Blue Grand Bulls because you want to path to a certain lane. We go Red Krugs Raptors because when we make the play bot, whatever it is, we actually like take away Raptors and Krugs, right? We take away the counterplay the enemy jungler might have to us. So he goes Red Krugs Raptors, he moves up. Oh my god, the Graves is making a play bot. Let me take... Oh, they're gone. Oh my god, I'm making a play bot. Wait, they're up. It's the same thing. It's just at a later time in a game, right? And people have weird ideas in their head like, oh my god, my bot camps are going to be level 1 the whole game. Who cares? The game's over at 5 minutes. The Viego gets nothing. So basically, like, the impact this has is that not only do you win lane, right? But you also win jungle. You do 2 things at once, man. That's like the effect this has, right? So what we're going to do now, guys, is watch Owner do this, but just one more thing here as well. You can see how Viego is top here. So Arfreezy, while he's running down here again, should be pinging top side of the map that Viego's top. And just a bit of context as well here, guys, like Viego killed the Swain earlier and almost like ran out from mid as if he was going to his bot side. So just watch the minimap for me. So Viego kills the Swain and then he ends up running towards like bot here. But the funny thing is that none of his bot camps are up because I'm pretty sure this dude went blue Gromp Wolves and then into bot, right? So at this time in the game 4-12, his Gromp will be spawning very soon. Wolves will be up very soon as well. So if he's going to go anywhere here in terms of camps, it has to be top side, right? Also, the Grays should be going to his Krugs, and he might even think about here just running at Viego's like top side, right? So in terms of Viego here, like when Arfreezy makes this play, Viego is going to be top side, right? Just based on his camp situation. And because like Arfreezy is not covering top here, right now he should be spam pinging top. And obviously it would be like too late at this point, but I'm actually just talking about earlier when he's running to bot. So after his blue here, he should just like be pinging top side of the map, right? Anyway, after this play bot, he ends up going to Dragon here, which is a really, really big throw as well. It's almost like we have to do this now. You know, we just killed their bot lane and let's do Dragon here. Instead of thinking, I just killed their bot lane, what's the counterplay I have? Or the enemy jungler has, sorry. Well, Viego killing top is obviously like bad. We should have pinged this. But also the Viego here, knowing you're running over here and maybe this river brush is watered, right? Because Nami moved into river, so maybe they know you're going to do Dragon here. So maybe here Viego's like, you know what? I know that Graves is going to do Dragon. I'm going to take his Krugs and Raptors. And he should also know how to base there that the Graves added 3 camps, right? To his original clear, because he had like 14 CS. He took like a Krug or something bot from Viego. So he went Red Krugs Raptors 12, took a couple of like, you know, Krugs or whatever, 14, and then he's gone Wolves 18, 22, 26 after Gromp. Yeah, and maybe he's taken like a CS or something here, right? That's why he's got 28. Might look a little bit weird. But there's just like a huge opportunity here for Viego to take his top camps. And it's not the end of the world like him doing Dragon, but it's actually bad. And also like just another point to make here. Is he losing Dragon? No. He's not losing anything, right? So the optimal play, guys, you'll always be able to tell what it is because there will be like no loss to it. Now, if you do lose something, let's just say the enemy jungler, you know, like a classic situation is like Baron over maybe 3rd Dragon, right? There are good trades where you actually still get something more out of it. But the best trades are where the enemy jungler gets nothing out of it. Recall here, what does he get? Okay, he killed top like I talked about before. He should ping top lane. But the enemy jungler gets nothing out of him recalling and going to Krugs and Raptors. Is he going to do Dragon? And let's just say that Viego didn't even go top, right? Maybe he's going Gromp to Wolves, like his Gromp to Wolves, and then he's coming bot here. Can he really do Dragon? Knowing that Graves might just be recalling and running bot, or Graves recalling running Krugs Raptors into Dragon, it's almost impossible, right, for the Viego to do this, especially with a hard losing bot lane. So we're not losing Dragon, but we could lose our top camps. So doing this is also an extension here, an overextension in terms of playing jungle camps, right? There's just way too much mana to go to Dragon here. If you don't believe me, let's watch this. Owner is ganking bot. Yeah, so Lee's in here. And he started top side in this game. And after picking up like, you know, 3 kills here, this is really clean. E-flash, beautiful. Kills Kaiser as well, right? Why does he shove the next wave? Because it's pushing, yeah? So he shoves this out, no worries. And if we just go back here, when he kills Graves, you'll see that at the end of this play, right? Like, Graves is alive in 3 seconds here. So what should Owner be thinking about? Well, let's have a think. Look at the map for me. He knows that Graves knows that he's bot side, obviously. A little bit of context as well here. Owner does his Raptors right at like 4:45, finishes them. Finishes Raptors and bases. Raptors will spawn in what time? 7 minutes. Good. 2:15. Raptors are supporting at 7 minutes, yeah? So when he makes this play bot, you might be like, wow, it's so much sooner than he has to. You know, it's like recall for Raptors. is you're not going to do Krugs beforehand. It will literally be like 7 minutes, man, by the time like he does Krugs. What does Arfreezy do? And again, this is not me having a go at Arfreezy, guys. Like, I'm just trying to show you like what the big difference is. The dude is an insane grades player, but this is going to be the difference, right? And hopefully you guys have learned a lot from this video. Dragon here. Lots of people actually just do it. Nyla's running out of base. Oh my god, Graze is going to come here and contest me on it. Nyla's running out of base. The enemy bot lane might be running out of base as well, but lots of people, it's like the same situation, right? Like you have a good opportunity here just to go to Dragon and potentially do this thing, right? Anyway, hopefully you can see the parallel. Instead, own a base straight away. And also notice how he does it like kind of out of vision. If a lane brush is warded, it's whatever here. Just like W's outright and recall straight away. Goes to Krugs. Look at the minimap for me. Can you see how there is a ping here on owner's Krugs? That is from Graves. Pinging that owner is there. Because both junglers think like this, which is how the game has to be played. The Graves knows that owner is going to cover that counterplay, so Graves doesn't even go for it. He just goes for his Gromp, just goes for his walls here. Owner, Krugs, Raptors spawn at 7 minutes. There they are. Back to red buff for level 6. That's what Challenger jungling is. Guys, hopefully this video has been super useful. If it has been, please leave a like down below. Any questions about any of the moves, let me know in the comment section. If you want one-on-one coaching, there's 15% off for the entirety of Worlds. So until like early November, get your heads around it. All roles, all lanes, all heads, all star signs. Let's get it. Don't be shit. Bye. Thanks for watching.